Osaka is also known as the City of Chonin, or the City of Merchants. It's always been a city of merchants because it has this large, deep harbor. Originally, this was the shipping and trading center for the islands of Japan. Today, it's now the shipping center for Japan, and it's trading all around the world. Each day, 16 ocean-going ships put in at this harbor. That's more than one for every daylight hour. And $74 billion worth of Japanese manufactured goods is exported through this harbor every year. This is the container terminal at Osaka Harbor. It has 5 berths accommodating 110 ships each month. In 1981, the volume handled in this terminal was 4,700,000 tons. This enormous gantry is unloading cargo from Taiwan, which will eventually go on to the United States. Trucks take the containers to the holding yard, where they unload them and return for more. We are now at the Omni Terminal. It is multi-purpose, handling cargo containers and single items as well. In the harbor, there are wharfs for food, chemicals, fruit, grain, plants, iron, and coal. The harbor is a place of cultural exchange because the goods which arrive and depart bring ideas with them. For instance, in 1980, Japan exported 624,000 guitars and 82,000 pianos, but more than 60% of their recorded music on LP was by non-Japanese musicians. The United States is Japan's biggest trading partner through this harbor, 3,480,101 tons in 1981. Australia was right behind with 3,381,000 tons. France and China are next. Osaka has 4 sister ports in San Francisco, Melbourne, Le Havre, and Shanghai. Japan's largest imports are minerals, petroleum, and especially iron ore from Australia. With the iron ore, Japan makes its biggest export items: ships, steel, automobiles, trucks, bikes, and cycles. Japan is the world's largest shipbuilder. Without iron ore and petroleum, Japan's economy could not survive. Once a month, the Nakayamas, Teiko, Yoshio, and Hiroaki, go out for lunch at the Plaza Hotel in Osaka. Mrs. Nakayama wears one of her best silk kimonos. She has several, which cost thousands of dollars and have been in her family for many years. Mr. Nakayama wears his Western suit, and Hiroaki his favorite shirt honoring a golf star. Today, the Nakayamas are having an Italian dish, veal parmigiana with spaghetti. The veal is imported from Europe. So is the idea of preparing it in an Italian style. For years, the Japanese have been leading manufacturers of stainless steel tableware. Only now are the Japanese beginning to use it instead of chopsticks. Well, chops and cutlets have to be sliced, and you can't slice with chopsticks. Since there are no words in Japanese for knife and fork, they are called naifu and forku. About 10% of the urban Japanese language today is comprised of English words. Ice cream is isakurimu. Coffee is kohi. Hotcakes are hotakekis. When Mr. Nakayama plays golf, he talks about his woods, his irons, and his putter. The Japanese language, like the Japanese people, is very adaptable. Today, the Nakayamas are having an Italian dish in a French restaurant in a Western hotel in the Japanese city of Osaka. In Osaka, you can get a French hairstyle in a salon, which is just above Macadonaro. You might prefer pizza, which is also very popular in Japan. The Japanese love variety, and fast food chains have caught on at lunchtime. Right now, fast noodles compete with hamburgers and pizza for the lunch trade. Fried chicken and submarines are also popular. Since World War II, Japanese culture has changed radically. competing in world trade has brought Western food, clothing, language, and a new lifestyle to many Japanese. The young Japanese speak of the 3 C's, car, color TV, and air conditioning, as the status symbols of the middle class. Half a world away in the Ivory Coast of West Africa, the world of the Baoul'e has taken on a French accent. But it isn't rare to see a Toyota van or an Isuzu truck at the market in Mbayakro. The trucks bring in goods from all over the world. Bicycles and motorcycles from France are popular. This man in his Muslim robe shows the influence of a religion brought down from northern Africa. At the market, people of various religious beliefs mingle freely and unself-consciously. Those who want to dress in the Western style can buy t-shirts, blouses, sweaters, shirts, and sandals. Fabrics from France and the Netherlands are popular with the women. Often the beautiful fabrics are worn as simple wraparounds, but in the market there is a dressmaker who can turn out high fashions. "50 miles away in the city of Baoul'e, the second largest city in the Ivory Coast, the market idea has grown into streets and stores. French bedding and appliances, Japanese motorcycles sell as they would in any big town or city. Televisions and sporting goods are also big sellers. At the coiffure, you can have your hair styled. Life in the Ivory Coast for the Baoul'e, the Agni, the Sinufo, and Bete, and all the other peoples, offers a variety of goods and ideas to those who can afford them. Most cannot, so change will happen slowly. The Mexican government has brought doctors and clinics to the Tarahumara. Despite the fact that the Tarahumara are physically fit, life expectancy among the Tarahumara is only 45 years due to malnutrition and diseases from contaminated water. This doctor not only treats her patients, but works at educating her patients as well. In the case of this young mother whose infant has gastroenteritis, an intestinal infection, the doctor prescribes medicine and tells the young mother what to do to make the medicine most effective. She also gives the mother advice on cleanliness and disease prevention. The Tarahumara adults are still reluctant to visit the clinic themselves, but when it comes to their children, they feel differently. Children are most precious to the Tarahumara family, and keeping the children healthy most important. The Mexican officials have insisted that the Tarahumara elect leaders among themselves and maintain some sort of system of self-government. Caborchi has its governor. Here you see the governor talking to his people. Traditionally, the Tarahumara have lived in single-family units, on homesteads, instead of living in villages. The governor tells his people to try to be good neighbors, not to drink too much, not to get into fights. The governor has gained the respect of his fellow Tarahumara. They know that they have the right to criticize him if they feel he is wrong on an issue. There is little crime among the Tarahumara. Anyone guilty of wrongdoing is brought before the entire community and given a harsh reprimand. The humiliation of a tongue lashing by his neighbors is enough to keep the individual Tarahumara pretty honest. The Center for Tarahumara has established a small general store in Caborchi. Here the Tarahumara can buy canned food. But more important, the store carries seed for better, stronger varieties of corn and vegetables. The Mexican government is concerned about the high rate of malnutrition among the Tarahumara and has established a program to introduce several garden vegetables to the Indians. This greenhouse in Caborchi has spinach, carrots, green peppers, and other vegetables which the Mexican government wants to add to the Tarahumara diet. Another addition to Tarahumara agriculture has been fruit. Caborchi now has an apple orchard. This year, the young trees produce several bushels of apples, which are now stored in an empty classroom in the school. The apple orchard provides yet another improvement to the diet and gives food which can be dried and stored against the harsh winter. Two hours from Caborchi is the Center for Tarahumara in Huachochi. The center provides many goods and services for the Tarahumara and is operated by the Mexican government. Official trucks take specialists from this center out to the Tarahumara villages and homesteads. Most of the specialists are concerned with agriculture, and teaching new methods is their major concern. The center is currently installing a new high-powered radio station, which will broadcast in Tarahumara. For the first time, the government hopes to educate by radio in the language which the Tarahumara will all understand. Many cultural exchanges are symbolic in an attempt to establish goodwill and friendship.
These are the cherry trees of Washington, D.C. Every year at this time in the spring, there's a cherry blossom festival, and people come from thousands of miles away to see these blossoms. These trees have a very interesting history which links the United States with Japan. In 1912, the governor of Tokyo gave these trees to the United States as a gift to promote friendship. These trees came from mother trees which were blooming on the Ara River in Tokyo. But during World War II, the Japanese cut down the mother trees because the children of those trees were blooming in the United States. Then 36 years later, in 1981, First Lady Nancy Reagan promised to send cuttings of these trees back to Japan. Japanese botanists came here and selected just the right trees from which to take the cuttings. The cuttings were carefully rooted and taken back to Tokyo.
The United States Department of Agriculture filmed the visit of the Japanese botanist.
Finally, the trees, which are the grandchildren of the mother trees which were cut down, are blooming once again in Tokyo, and a gift of friendship has been fully restored.